going down, guys? Just gonna do a little live stream. It's getting late, but there's still a little light out here, so I figured I'd do a live stream real quick before we run out of light. And yeah, I don't know if you guys will still be up in the mainland or not. You guys that don't know, I live out in Hawaii now, so there's not a lot of people that stay up late enough to watch me do evening live streams, I don't think. Woo. Just took a drink of my wife's beer, and I don't drink beer, but that was a bad idea. I do not like how it clogs you up. Anyways, we want to get into some discussions. My wife's actually come hang out with me. We're going to roll a blunt and smoke it. But we want to get into a discussion. I just got off another live stream on somebody else's channel. Just a little bit ago. What's up, baby? My apologies in advance for hacking. I'm hurting here. Where's the blunts? All right, so I just got off the live stream a little bit ago on Saneter Studios, live studios, something like that. My apologies if I'm saying his channel wrong. I actually, I don't hate the dude at all, and I'm not against what he's doing. I'm actually stoked. I think of him as a fellow Israelite, whether he thinks he is or not. But I was on there. I just saw that they were doing a debate, and I saw there's this big thing in the black community right now between Hebrew Israelites and those who are Aboriginal Americans, right? And whether or not the transatlantic slave trade actually happened, and whether or not people are Hebrews or Nagas, Israelites or Amarukans, you know. There's a bunch to it. I'm not drinking any more of your beer. I took one sip and I'm like, I already feel like I'm dying.
I think you took more than one.
No, I just took the one. But anyways, you guys, I hope everyone's doing good. Bear with me as I roll up a little blunt here. And then we're gonna get into this a little bit. If you look at the title, I actually I didn't tag, but I used Saneter and this dude Ankh, the God Killer. I used their names because that's who. That's two of the people that were in the debate. That obviously I couldn't write everyone's name down, but that's two of the people that were in this debate when I went live with them that actually decided they were going to mock me for mentioning that psychedelics had brought me back to believing in God. And that sorry guys, trying to get this tobacco out of here. That kind of actually lit a fire under me a little bit and made me want to challenge them. So I challenged them to come live with me, and obviously they're not going to do that tonight. I don't think. They don't know who I am really. And one of the guys said that he would come check out my channel and go with me, go live with me probably. But my whole point is I don't want to go live with these guys in order to talk shit to them or trash them or their beliefs or anything like that. My goal is to enlighten them, because I could tell immediately one of them compared psychedelics to crack and meth and shit. So I don't really care who you are. That frustrates the shit out of me, because I actually know the history of psychedelics and I spend a lot of time learning it. And it's directly connected to my people. It's my pastime. It's my ancestors' way of life. And so it's very important to me. But the most important thing was it's also their ancestors' way of life. And it's the thing that connects both sides of this battle that's going on in the black community, if you want to call it that. And I want to do my best to try to unite the black community through knowledge, instead of just name calling, deflecting, and going back and forth at each other's necks. Because that's what we do. We do that a lot. Even me, I catch a lot of shit for being light skinned, which I understand, but that's fucked. And then I know niggas catch shit for being too dark. And then, oh, you okay? My wife almost fell. And then there's, you know, like, it's frustrating. And so I'm not trying to push my agenda, but more so trying to just drop some more knowledge that I don't think that the people are too aware of, right? A lot of the Israelites, I don't think, are too aware of the Aboriginal situation. Maybe they are. I don't want to speak on everyone, but I know that most of them aren't too hip to the psychedelics in the sacrament, right? And then I know that a lot of Aboriginals know about the sacraments, the psychedelics, but they don't believe there's a connection to the Hebrew Israelites. And so both sides are kind of right, but they're missing a couple of things that I feel like I have the answer to, and I want to jump in and help connect those dots. Hopefully, I'm sure everyone's gonna get mad at me. I'm gonna get a bunch of dudes gonna be raging. It's just how we are. We get hype, but that's okay. It is what it is. I got to do what I got to do, and you can't be scared to stand on knowledge. You got to be able to stand up and speak it, regardless of who wants to hear it and who doesn't. And so that's my goal, is to get on and talk with them. And so this live stream was actually just to get something out there so that they could see their names maybe on my channel and be able to click and see what I've talked about before, see that I do have some experience with psychedelics, but more so that I also have experience with the Hebrew literature and the oral traditions of the indigenous. And so maybe, just maybe, we can have a good conversation, do some dialogue, and make something happen. I almost got this blunt roll, man. I'm sorry. I know there's only like one of you hanging out in here with me, maybe two, but I almost got this blunt ready. I just want to twist it up real quick. What you working on? Oh yeah, you want to show them what you're drawing? Look, my wife. So you guys know me. My wife had some crazy DMT experiences. My wife has a business that she's been running for years. It's kind of just in limbo right now, just hanging in timeout for a minute. But she has a logo that actually comes from a DMT trip. That's pretty cool. Let's see if I can get her to show you guys. She's drawing on it again. Yeah. So it's like when they'd walk, the little eyes would blink. You know what I mean? I don't know if any of you guys that do DMT have ever seen that, but it seems rare for some reason. I haven't found too many people that have seen hearts in their DMT experience.
It's just one eye.
It's a very interesting symbol because it's not the real symbol of a heart yet. It's been around for quite a while. And it's definitely got connection to shamanic experiences, which is very interesting. You guys know I like symbology. And feel free to leave comments, man, if you guys got questions, or, oops, I should hit live chat, sorry. If you guys got questions, or if you want me to hit on any specific topics since we're on here. I'm going to smoke a blunt. I didn't really come on here with anything I wanted to talk about other than just letting you guys know I was on Saneter's show just a couple hours ago. And I was also on Deacon Sakari's channel the other day. And I'm trying to start tapping in with these guys and see if they'll open up and dialogue with me. Most people seem to be pretty defensive when it comes to talking about psychedelics, Anunnaki, anything of that nature. People tend to get a little up in arms, but especially if it has to do with God in any way, shape, or form. Aliens, anything like that. But here's what it is. All right, blunt's almost ready. You guys know me, man. I like to take my time and roll these so they hit right, even if they're smaller like this one. If you guys don't remember, all right, get it like this. I'm not done yet. It's still a little ugly. If I poke it without cracking it, it's a little dry. Boom. Boom. Cut that tip. And there we go. Yeah, man. Little baby cannon. Every time. Now you see how I tapered it this way. When I roll little ones, I always taper them this way because I smoke the roaches. So I like the roaches to be nice and fat. Most people be like, oh, I hit it this way. But I do it this way for a reason. I like them fat roaches. And the little mouthpieces, they tend to clog up a little too fast. Where's my... All right, let's get this blunt going. So since we're here, let's just go ahead and fucking talk about it. So one of the main things that I'm trying to get people to pay attention to is our mindset, how we think about things, and the depth of which we think about things. A lot of us don't actually take the time to dig beyond the first signs, that we find on the surface, right? We don't go beyond that and get down the deep shit. And I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of folks. So, for instance, psychedelics is a great example. In the psychedelic community, everyone knows that when you take psychedelics, there's an enlightening type experience for some people, and for others, it's just a party thing, right? But for those that have a enlightening thing, they usually take it too far to other people. They, get judged for taking it too far, becoming hippie, or ruining their lives, or going crazy, or shit like that, right? But there's a reason for that. All these people are doing these psychedelics without guidance, right? And I know that a lot of people get triggered. They're like, well, guidance, like, I don't know. No, and that's just it. A lot of people don't know, even those that have done tons of psychedelics. I did a ridiculous amount of psychedelics before I actually knew the truth, and I can't tell you how many times I thought I knew the truth before I really knew the truth. There's quite a few times. I was excited every time. First, I was excited when I found the connection to Hinduism. Then I was excited when I found the connection to oral traditions and indigenous people. And then I got excited when I found out about the sacraments. And then I got excited when I found out about communion and the blood of Christ and yada, yada, and connecting all these dots. I was so excited. And then as I'm doing it, I'm seeing people dropping books. Like, I'm figuring this shit out. And then this dude, Brian C. Murrescu, drops a book at the same fucking time. I was like, damn it, because I wanted to write a book, right? I'm still in the mindset of trying to make money from the knowledge. Now I don't give a fuck about the money, which is why I keep doing the videos on this channel where I don't have that many followers or, any chance of monetizing, right? And so when you look at things, you got to look deeper. If you look at the movie Prometheus, right? You watch Prometheus and you'll see that scene where he says, I am Ozymandias. Look on my wax, ye mighty, in despair, right? Or I'm Ozymandias, King of Kings. Yeah, look on my wax, ye mighty, in despair, right? A lot of people don't realize that that's a poem that's written way back in the day from a dude named Shelley Percy, right? Or Percy Shelley. I always get it backwards. And that Ozymandias is actually a reference to King Ramesses II, right? Which is the pharaoh that enslaved the Jews, the real Jews, the Hebrew Israelites, right? From the tribe of Judah. Well, all the Israelites, I think. But yeah, so this is very significant, right? All these little things, right? Because you can watch the movie 20 times, but still not pay attention to that because you're looking at the movie itself. Or the fact that what's up, Michael? I said, drop the link. Drop the link. What link? What are you trying to see? I'll drop a link if I can. Let me know. So, can I discuss something with you? I see what you're saying. Let me see if I can. I don't know. Let me find out here. The button's right on the camera. Oh, shit, that's the wrong button. That shows the Jeep. I'm figuring this shit out. My bad, man. Let's see. Maybe if I go share, or if I click on your thing. Advice on staying positive. That's a rough one, but I will. Let's see. Is there a way to get you on here? I know. I don't know if I got all that shit on here. I was able to get. Shit, I don't even know if I can do that. I wasn't ready to add anybody. That's my bad. That's my bad. Hold on. Well, just hit me in the chat, and I'll do my best. I'll try to set this up later so I can do that. I have to actually look how to do it. I've never invited anybody onto my shit before, which I need to figure out if those dudes want to come on here and actually debate with me. I need to figure it out, because one of them said he was going to. What is this? Not that either. Yeah, that's fine. Or if you know how to do it and it's something I can do real quick, let me know. Give me a rundown. I'll figure it out real quick. I feel like if I back out of here, or I mean, if I go to my main thing, my home screen to pull that up, that it's gonna drop everybody. But I could be wrong. But either way, fuck. If you guys got questions, anyways, ask me questions because I'm all about it. Staying positive. All right. So staying positive. First off, is don't gas yourself up. Right. The biggest thing is before you can stay positive, you got to realize there's two types of positive. There's a fake positive that's brought about by instant gratification, and then there's a true positive, a real positive, which is brought about through delayed gratification, if you ask me. And what I mean by that is that, for instance, you can find positivity or happiness through dopamine fixes, right? Through things like sex or drugs and shit like that, and that's just temporary, right? It's short term, right? That's not the best way to go about doing things, if you ask me. And so then there's the other way, which is long term, and that is long term gratification is usually, it requires a little bit of a struggle before you get to the gratification part, right? So for instance, I could go chase money, right? I'm super poor. I live in a tent and I have no money hardly, really, right? So I could go chase money. I could easily go get a job making 20 something, $30 an hour right now and be perfectly fine financially. But then it's going to take all my time away from studying and being with my family and doing the things that I really want to do, right? And so, oh, it's fine, Michael. I'll read it here in just a second and I'll answer for you. And then that would be instant gratification for me. But knowing what I know now, I know that I'm not supposed to pursue that path. So I have to struggle in order to get to the long-term gratification that I'm after, right? Which means I have to toughen up a little bit. I gotta have some hardened skin, and that's hard to do when the world's crumbling around you. You got bills that are stacking up, or you've got relationship problems, or you've got health problems or something. We all got a lot of shit going on, but it doesn't mean that it's not valid. So regardless of what you got going on, positivity. The positivity that really matters is the long term, right? The shit that's deep. And so don't try to satisfy yourself in the flesh, would be my opinion. My goal personally is to satisfy the long term, which is the immortality of my soul, which requires me to walk a certain path, which gives me purpose and guidance and structure. And I enjoy those things, but more so, I enjoy the end result of what they bring me. So that's the path I chose to take to find my happiness. Plus, I really enjoy nature and good ganja. So maybe mix those in too, right? Being outside and that, that is really nice for me. Reading, accumulating knowledge is really nice for me. It helps bring happiness. There's something satisfying about fucking watching yourself become smarter, if that makes sense. It's a little egotistical, but it's also legit, it's valid, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to be smarter or taking pride in being smarter. Just don't use it to beat other people down, you know what I mean? Which I gotta work on sometimes. All right, so let me read this comment. Sorry, Michael, I hope I'm saying your name right. What I was going to say is, have you taken time to study Islam? If not, it definitely wouldn't hurt. It's the fastest growing religion in the world, in the West, and indeed amongst women of the West. Not trying to convert, just converse with you. With the cats. Also, I wanted to ask how mushrooms brought you to Hebrew Israelism. All right, so let's start in the beginning. First off, yes, I do study Islam. I have a Quran actually in my house, or my tent. And I do study that, actually. I study Islam, Buddhism, I study Zoroastrianism, I study Hinduism, I study Taoism, I study Christianity, and I study, what else do I study? And I study Hebrew, right? Which isn't really religion, but yeah, so I study a lot, just mainly for the goal of knowing things, so I don't look like an ass when I'm trying to talk to somebody about something. You're not too convincing if you don't know what you're talking about. And so I do study a little bit. Now, I'm not a scholar in Islam by any means. I know a lot more about the Hebrew history and about just Naga history in general. But yeah, I know that it's fastest growing one. I also know, what they represent. They're the Ishmaelites, right? The Arab people, as everyone likes to call them. They're Ishmaelites. And the land they live on is actually originally called the Sinai Peninsula. Or Sinai Peninsula. The Sinai Peninsula used to house a lot of weapons. It was bombed with nuclear weapons a long, long, long time ago, thousands of years ago. And there's still traces of that to this day, actually. But yes, I know about the prophet, and I know how it started and how. But what's interesting is in the Quran, even in the Quran, they say that the Israelites are the chosen people, which I find interesting. And also in the Quran, there's well, here's the thing. I don't follow the Quran as in like a religion. I have read it because it's a piece of history and it's a perspective on history. But that history is still all based around Israel, oddly enough, and the Hebrews, which is very interesting. And there's a reason for that. There's no getting around it. Everybody's history is kind of based around Israel, the Israelites, just because in ancient times everybody knew they were the chosen people. The reason that was kind of snuffed out by the Edomites, who are many nations now, but they're still the Edomites, was literally to hide that fact, actually, to take away the knowledge of the chosen bloodline and to remove those people from their inheritance, which was super important to them. And if you know who that inheritance comes from, then it's very obvious. A good way to trace it actually is through numerology. So through Hebrew literature or etymology, there's all letters, if you want to call them that, have numerical value, right? 40 is 40 is used over and over throughout the Bible. It's the ranking number of Enki, right? And I've told you guys before, I traced Yahweh and Enki back to be the same deity, right? And 40 is his rank. Well, over him is Enlil, who is El Elyon in the Bible, whose rank is 50. He's known as the eagle. And sky god, war god, a bunch of stuff like that. So if you look in the Bible in English, there's Lord God, Lord thy God, things of that nature. And then you can go to the Hebrew translations. You'll see Yahweh, El Elyon, Elohim, stuff like that, right? And these are all the names actually of the Anunnaki, but in Hebrew. And so that's been a big, big, big part of my breakthrough, was actually realizing that the Bible's talking about the Anunnaki. That doesn't change the fact that the Hebrew Israelites are a real thing. It just shows you that their descendancy comes from the Anunnaki. Now, whether Lamech is truly Noah's father or not, still the line of Enki, because Lamech's in the line of Enki, but then his son, supposedly Enki, had stepped in and provided the seed for his son by sleeping with his mom, and so with Lamech's wife. And so either way, whether it be through Noah being the son of Enki directly or Noah being a descendant of Enki through Lamech, that's still the chosen bloodline through the patriarchal firstborn pedigree, right? Which has always been the thing from the Anunnaki all the way down. It's always been the way. And so it's hard to get people to connect these dots, but it's very important. And I saw another question, I thought. Also, I wanted to ask how mushrooms brought you to Hebrew Israelism. So I wouldn't call it Hebrew Israelism, really. It's just that I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and it's not really a religion so much as it is just a cultural ethnicity and identity, and the covenants, the laws that were established between Enki and his descendancy, his bloodline heirship. There's specific laws that descend from the tablets of destiny or the Me's of destiny that contain the rules and regulations of the royal lines and how they're supposed to behave and go about living life, and that's what translated to the laws and commandments that you'll find throughout the Bible. 613 of them, right? And so the point of that is when I took the psychedelics, how that brought me back to Hebrew Israelite knowledge was that, well, not brought me back to it, I guess. I never knew about it in the beginning. Was actually through Hinduism, believe it or not. I had taken a bunch of, it wasn't mushrooms. It was actually, I took a bunch of mushrooms too, but I also took a bunch of LSD, right? So I was tripping on LSD and mushrooms, and which is LSD is just synthesized from mushrooms. But I was tripping on, oh, there we go. I lost everybody. My bad. Sorry, guys. Well, in case anyone comes back, I'll finish the story anyways. I wound up tripping one night on a bunch of acid, then I ate a bunch of mushrooms, and then I was fortunate enough to have a DMT ceremony where I got to smoke DMT twice in a row, and in that experience, I got to meet what I believe to be God, and that changed my whole perspective on everything. I was no longer atheist or even agnostic, but now a true believer in God. I just didn't know how to describe it. And the last thing that was told to me when I came out of that second trip was Hinduism, yoga, and meditation, and to go learn it. And obviously that freaked me out. I've told you guys the story. That freaked me out, and so I ran and kind of hid from it for a while, before I finally dove into it, started studying. And then I did a bunch more DMT. But I did more DMT before I started studying. It was actually doing more DMT that got me to start studying, because I met Shiva, but I didn't know it was Shiva at the time. I just knew it was a deity that looked a specific way. I had a bunch of arms and faces and legs and blue upper body, was glowing, and all this beautiful like aura around it, and was able to control my body and show me things that was just incredible. And I just thought it was an angel, That's all I could think at first. And then my wife over here wants to remind me. My wife was like, that sounds like Shiva. I was like, what the fuck's a Shiva? And so, thank you very much. What does I say? Hey man, I really like how you enlighten people about psychedelics and just how you accept that they will take in the information if they want. I'm 14, just learning about psychedelics I've never taken. Yeah, it's good, man, and don't rush to it. There's no rush to jump into the psychedelic thing. When I was young, the first time I took psychedelics was like around 14, 15 or something, and it didn't do nothing but scare the shit out of me. And I locked myself in the closet and fucking basically cried for like hours because I didn't know what to do. Eventually wound up being okay, but that wasn't the point. The point was I didn't get anything useful from it. Life is it's easy to think that you're ready, because we can convince ourselves to that. And had I known better, I probably wouldn't have done psychedelics at the time. I would have waited until I was at least like, in my mid 20s and had my shit chilling out a little bit. I was a little too, right? You want to wait till you're a little older for a couple of reasons. One is because the weird life experiences that happen throughout your teenage years and your early 20s really change your perspective on things a lot. And two is that your body's a little more developed, your pineal gland's a little more developed, your lungs, everything's a little more developed, right? And you're able to process a little bit better, and thus I believe that it helps open up the ability to comprehend what you're truly saying, because there's levels, right? And some of these psychedelics can be fun in low doses, and then in just the slightest higher dose, it literally simulates death itself, and that's no fun for anyone that's trying to just have a good time. Sorry, let me check these out. I missed this. How shall the children of the seed of Satan wander after the beast? 32,523 given to all Satan children for making his image. The mark 666. What are you trying to say? You talking about Omni, like Omicron? What are you talking about? Talking about Greek letters. Who do you think is the beast? I'm just curious. Laser tattoo. What are you talking about? Are you talking about getting a fucking mark on your hand or something?
The new mark that you can get.
Well, I mean, they're coming out with a bunch of shit right now. They're coming out with chips and fucking all kinds of things for people right now. But I'm just curious with this, guys. I mean, Allah with one L, you can say, but I'm not Allah the Most High, bro. Allah is a Hebrew word originally, not Aramaic. Aramaic Allah was actually with two L's, was taken from Allah with one L, which is Hebrew. And yes, I am a God, but I'm not the Most High God. I'm a children of God. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of the Most High. You're typing a dead frog head. What are you, bro? What are you talking about? You gotta speak some sense, otherwise I can't really help you out here. Can't really dialogue with you. But yeah. So, anyways, the DMT showed me Shiva, which did one thing very specifically for me. It showed me that the deities of ancient times were very real. There was no getting around that at that point. No matter what anyone said to me, I could never stop believing in the fact that these deities are real simply from the DMT experience alone. And so there was that. Now I needed an explanation. Who were they? Why are they popping up when I take DMT? Who else has seen them? All that. And that's when I started reading books like DMT and the Spirit Molecule and DMT and the Soul Prophecy and studying up on all the dudes in the psychedelic community. You know, there's a whole bunch of them. And I got on the DMT Nexus and started reading up on the molecules itself. Sorry, baby. And then I started studying the human body because I need to understand how these molecules interacted with the human body. And that took a while. And then eventually I started realizing, you know, the connection between the third eye and the pineal gland and how the nervous system and the chakras and the nadis are all connected and the seed. And then it was a bunch of stuff I started going through, right? Did I just get another comment on here? Then I've had the chance to, but I turned it down because I want to get as much info as I can before I take them. Oops. What was it? My dad is the one who got me learning about all this. I showed him some of your vids. That's dope. That's hella cool, man. Your dad's sitting down talking with you about the stuff too. That's a good father. You gotta you gotta just take your time. You know, there's no rush. I can tell you that. Once I finally took DMT, it changed my life, and there's no going back from that. I can't undo the experience, and I've done it many times now. But I'm telling you, I cannot undo that experience. And so what you have now is precious, right? And it's the comfort of ignorance, and you know, they call it blissful ignorance, or ignorance is bliss, right? Hold on to that for a little while, just to protect your well-being, because if you're not ready and you go down that road, it can break you in a way that you're just not prepared for, you know, and it's permanent damage, right? And I don't mean as in physical, I mean just mental damage. It's once you have that veil pulled back, it reveals to you the tremendous depth of reality, and there is no escaping that. There's no getting away from that, right? And we are subject to something much greater than ourselves, and you want to make sure that you're humble about that. You know, you got to ask yourself, what would you do if you had the opportunity to sit in the presence of God? Would you act a fool? You know what I mean? And so that's important to think about those things. It's the best advice I can give. You know, don't rush. This blunt is tiny. All right, that one more time. Yeah. Study. That's the big one, man. Study. All right. Anyway, you guys got any more questions for me? Let me know. I really just want to jump on here so I could have a video up that will hopefully hit the algorithm for Saneter and that dude, Ankh the God Killer. And I'd really like to talk with Gorilla Hebrew, because Gorilla Hebrew is probably the smartest out of all of them that I've seen so far. Him and that dude he debated with tonight, who I can't remember his name right now, but The two of them had a real good debate, and unfortunately, they bumped heads. They didn't really see eye to eye and couldn't come to a conclusion that they both agreed on, which was a bummer because I felt like I could have helped make that connection if anyone wanted to listen to me. But I wanted to wait for a while before I take them just because if I am not ready, it can do damage to my mindset. But he teaches me a lot of advice about how to handle situations. Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's no perfect age, you know what I'm saying? But I personally, I can't recommend doing it until you're of age, obviously, you know, for obvious reasons. But also, I just, you know, I know that that shit changed me, man. Read the Mahabharata, right? The Bhagavad Gita, at least. Read the Puranas, read the Bible, and pay attention to the context and read it thoroughly. Psychedelics aren't just to be taken. Study up on, if you like some esoteric stuff, study up on um, uh, J. Krishnamurti and, you know, who else is it? 33rd degree Freemasons, like, let's do it. Manly P. Hall is a good one, right? Manly P. Hall's real intelligent for Edomite dude. And then, you know, there's people like Bobby Hemmett, right? He's a little crazy, but he's actually pretty intelligent too. There's a lot of people that'll help just show you that there's more going on than what meets the eye, right? And you know, these sacraments weren't given to everybody. They're given to a very specific group of people, and they came with a very specific group of like set of rules and regulations. And you know, the Freemasons, I'm pretty sure they got a copy of that shit because they follow it pretty closely. They they'll show you as well. You don't. It's called 33rd degree because there's 33 levels you need to work up, right? And as you're working up those levels, you don't get psychedelics until you're up there a little ways. The psychedelics are the confirmation of the literature that you've been studying, right? If you're studying this literature, it might be fun at first. Eventually, it's going to wear you down, and then you're going to get tired of it and lose interest, something like that. But you got to stay dedicated, right? The shit's to be earned, not given. And so you have to earn it, right? So you got to stay dedicated, bust your ass. And then as you get to a certain point, then you take the sacrament, and the sacrament will reconfirm all the things that you've been learning, right? And not only will it do that, it will inspire you to continue learning further. And that is crucial, right? And there's no limit to this hard drive that we call a brain, right? You can keep filling up this memory and obtaining this knowledge. And you can push and push and push and push, but do so in a balanced way. Take time, you know, eat properly, you know what I'm saying? Drink a lot of water, nourish your body, make sure that you're getting out in the fresh air. Just there's a lot of things because it's easy to turn into a hermit. I know because I've done it. Just yeah, it's a long path. And it's not a popular one, so expect to be alienated the further you go down that path. The more you know the truth, the less people know you, and that can lead to only one thing. It's inevitable for you to be alienated and lonely, and that's just how it's going to be. You got a tough skin for this shit. Anyways, I'm going to get up off here, make sure there's no more. I appreciate you guys coming through, kicking with me, smoke a blunt. I see my reflection back there. It's like, yeah, it's like when you look in the mirror. Anyways, I appreciate it, guys. I'm fucking irie. I'm gonna get up out of here. I will holler at you guys in a little bit. Peace, jiggers, all that. Get high, stay irie. What was that? What I used to say? Get high. Something, something. I'll see you in the clouds. I don't even remember. Peace out, man.